Good morning, folks. Brian Loma, Cut the Plastic, hanging out downtown at the Colorado State Capitol for the 11/29 Saturday Yellow Vest gathering. We here in Colorado are gonna be heard just like everybody else. Not as many Yellow Jackets out as we would like to see, maybe, but a crowd nonetheless. And a lot of Palestine supporters too, it looks like. So we're gonna come back out on the street here, folks, and get some of these images. Stop shooting protesters in the Sudan. Oh, very important, very important. Okay, folks, we're going to carry on here, watching out for the traffic just a little bit. It's not only bread, it's not only gas, it's not only inflation, it's 30 years of oppression. Sudan revolts.
Sudan regime to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Al-Bashir to ICC! Al-Bashir to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC!
So it seems like we might have showed up for the Yellow Vests and ran into a second protest. Indeed. Hello.
Sudan united will never be divided.
In the voice of babes.
Will never be divided. Sudan united will never be divided. Sudan united will never be divided. Sudan united will never be divided. Sudan united.
That's right, folks. We're out here downtown Denver, state capitol here, and it's about 23 degrees outside. Unlike the Yellow Vest Brigade meeting outside Texas right now, we have maybe less Yellow Vests at this moment. It might be a little early for them, but we found this group of people here. Leave the Sudan, huh? Good morning. Would you care? My name is Brian. We are live streaming currently. Wondering if you would care to tell side and lack of freedom of speech are things around the world killing people for voicing their opinions that we don't have here in Colorado or in the United States as much. So would you care to tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Actually, this is about Sudan regime. We just start in our country to protest for we are requesting the minimum. We are requesting education, our basic need, and when we are in the street, just peaceful, asking for our rights, they start shooting us with the gun, with very shooting,
killing people
and killing them.
Okay.
And today we have today is the 8th day for us, and they are killing over 40 people.
They have killed over 40 people in Sudan today for AIDS Day protests.
We have some photo for
some of the youth that have been killed, it looks like. Young men voicing their opinions.
So this one, he is just 8 years old, and he have been killing from the first day.
And what was his name?
We don't have it.
You don't have his name. This 8-year-old young man killed in the Sudan. Very sad what's happening right now, Jesse. That is correct.
Sad. And our regime is 30 years over the regime, and that's so sad. We just need them to go and leave us alone.
Okay, so what about democratic elections? Does that occur in the Sudan currently?
No, it's cheating. They are cheating for 30 years and getting to the They are in the government for 30 years.
So 30 years, they pretend to have elections, but it's very vote our way or face persecution.
They are doing voting every year, but nothing.
But but it's kind of like there's not people who are running against the government, people, or are they afraid for their lives that they do?
Actually, they are just winning. We don't know how they are winning, but it's just like
They are okay. So
they
probably
are
like
playing the game with the right way. That's what they are doing, and they didn't give us the basic price. Then
yeah. I suppose people who are in the streets protesting are probably not getting their votes counted effectively as well.
no.
Okay. Well,
That's why we are here. We just want them to give us our rights to say what we need and stop killing protesters in Sudan.
yeah, that's important. Thank you very much. What was your name?
Salma?
Selma. I appreciate your time. And thank you for bringing your children out today.
Yes, we are all here for Sudan, and that's the only thing we can do.
Yeah,
If we can do more.
it's not the only thing because it is the most important thing to defend your constitutional freedoms. The first ones being free speech, right? And as you're protesting for free speech of your culture, your heritage, your people back home, right? Exercising that constitutional authority here is some of the most pristine, important things that we can do. So thank you all for being out here today. Thank you. So that's right, folks. That was Selma here at the Yellow Vest. We have some, looks like Unicorn Riot might be here with some news going on, or one of the crews. And again, remember, folks, this was supposed to be the Yellow Vests showing up initially, huh? And we have all these children out here saying freedom and peace and justice. Do you have something you'd like to say to the world, sir? Al-Bashir to ICC. What's that mean? Tell us. Okay. So it happens everywhere we go. Not everybody knows what they're protesting about. These ladies have something to say.
Sudan regime to ICC. Al-Bashir to ICC. Al-Bashir to ICC. Al-Bashir to ICC. Sudan regime to ICC. Sudan regime to ICC. Al-Bashir to ICC. Al-Bashir to ICC.
So we're going to try to get one of these ladies to explain to us what this means. We're broadcasting to the world. Will you tell us what this means?
This is the Sudanese people. They protest because they have a lot of problem in Sudan, and Sudan regime they kill the protester people.
They're killing the protesters.
Yes.
So what does the Sudan regime to ICC mean?
That means they want all the Sudanese people. They want Umar al-Bashir to go to Lahai because he's a criminal.
Because he's a criminal.
Yes.
So what, do you want him to go to The Hague to be tried?
What's that?
Do you want him to go to in front of The Hague to be tried, or
The people they need that.
they need him to be tried and be held accountable for his criminal behavior as a dictator of the people?
Yes.
Not actually having free elections and the freedom of speech.
Yes. No, we don't have it. We don't have it because they strike against the government.
Okay, tell the world.
He's a dictator, so we need to his regime get out of our country.
Okay, and it is to the voice of our elders that we must listen. So thank you, ladies, for being out here and educating us. Thank you. So, Janet, did you expect this at the Yellow Vest protest this morning? No. Our people are late again. Yes, but it's good to see so many people out here for a cause, huh? Yeah. I agree. It's a little sunny towards you, so we're not going to keep the camera on you.
United, we'll never be divided. Sudan, united, we'll never be divided. Sudan, united, we'll never be divided. Sudan, united.
Oh, Jessie says good morning, Janet.
Sudan, united, we'll never
She says she's laughing. Yeah, Lynn, we do hope the world takes notice, and I hope of that too. We really want everybody to be aware of what's going on in issues around the world. So the ICC must be some kind of criminal council, international criminal council or something. Al Bashir to ICC. That's because 40 people were killed today, folks, in the Sudan. Did you know that? 40 people were killed protesting this morning, murdered for trying to have free speech. 40 people in Sudan tonight. Were killed. And these folks are here because they're able to use their constitutional free speech in the United States to speak out about the crimes of their people. You figure about a crowd this size. That's about 40 people, right? That's about how many people were killed protesting this morning in Sudan. Spread awareness for Sudan. If Verizon sent me a message saying that my data stream is bad, I'm going to be so mad. I paid like an extra $20 to upgrade my plan. International Criminal Court investigation in Darfur. Okay, so it's not The Hague. Thank you, Jesse.
What we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Power to our people. Sudan's freedom's what we're here for. Bashir to ICC! Al-Bashir to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Al-Bashir to ICC! Al-Bashir to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Al-Bashir to ICC! Al-Bashir to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! Sudan regime to ICC! احنا بلدنا
Thanks, guys. I see some of you guys are just joining us. I had a problem with my feed. Just trying to share on some websites, but it's hard to do that with one phone. So anyway, for those of you just joining us, Sudan revolution. This morning in the Sudan, 40 protesters were murdered for using their efforts, their voice to speak out against the problems of the dictatorship and the regime there in Sudan. These pictures with the child with the fist there that represents an 8-year-old child who was murdered protesting, using his free speech.
United will never be divided. Sudan, 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 united will never be divided.
Folks, if you're watching this, I always appreciate a share, right? Reposting or sharing on websites that you might be involved with. Again, we're down here for the Yellow Jackets. Supposed to be here on Saturday at noon. Looks like we got here early and we found the Sudan protest going on. Lots of people out here with cameras. It's happening all over the place. And by the way, folks, you don't recognize that voice. That's the real Karen Sidaro. Hold on, let her say hi to everybody. There we are. Oh, that's my hand. There we go. Say hi. Okay. There's Janet. Yeah, everybody. I know the sun's there, so it's blocking. That's why we're gonna go this way. Easier to see the people with the sunwear not on them. Bread prices. Thank you, Jesse. We appreciate you sharing. Yes, Jesse says good morning, Karen. Susie says good morning there back, Jesse. Bouncing 8K lady. Thanks for bouncing between streams. I know James Truman's probably got a lot more interesting stuff going on his website with them all armed for the event in action today. Again, we did show up here for the Yellow Vests. I'm surprised to find that they weren't here. Instead, we found the Sudanese protest. But it's Saturday at the Capitol, so we'll go with it, you know? Look at this young children screaming. Yes. Both are amazing. Well, thank you, AK Lady. We appreciate that. Build the wall, says Dan. Well, Dan, we can build a wall around your house, and you can just stay secluded inside your private property. You have that right. We live in a world where everybody has enough if we distribute the resources effectively. Bullets are not an effective distribution of resources when they're used to suppress people. Suppress voices to kill 8-year-olds. Bullets are not an effective use of resources. These kids don't have the bullets to shoot back, and maybe they should not. Maybe they should not be using those resources. Bread over bullets. I like that idea. We're gonna come get try to get some of this interviewing going on, huh? So you can see there's a nice little crowd. Bread over bullets. I like that idea too. 40 people got killed this morning in Sudan over protesting for bread. Cops are showing up in Texas. Well, they should. Everybody's armed, so, you know, it could be a standoff. Citizenships. Yes, citizenships. We humans that are citizens, boats floating through this country, we do create the way. That's why we feed the homeless. I was chopping up mushrooms for an hour and a half this morning for our breakfast tomorrow. Because we throw away so much food in this country. And these people are dying for food. I love these children using their cultural languages. They're bilingual, trilingual, right? They're educated like that. Things that we Americans don't do as much as we should. Know multiple cultures, appreciate identities of our ancestors. Stop killing protesters! 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 That's right, folks. That child just started a chant that said, "Stop killing protesters." Stop killing protesters! Stop killing protesters! From the mouths of babes, gentlemen and ladies.
United,
we'll never be divided. And you know what? Let's just talk about this for a second. Because it's a beautiful day just to hang out and enjoy a protest. You got nothing else to do with your life? Hang out and watch the protest. That's a good thing to do. Or join.
Sudan, united, will never be divided.
Sudan, united, will never be divided.
Add Bashir to ICC.
Add Bashir to ICC.
Add Bashir to ICC.
Have you been on the is that page
Sudan
to see what the chat is? Any chatter? They might have decided to move because of this instead of joining us.
Add
They
Bashir
should
to
have joined them. I
ICC.
know, that would be ridiculous to not do
Add
that.
regime to ICC.
So the Sudan regime to ICC is the International Criminal Courts.
الثوار في الميدان الثوار في الميدان سقطت يا كيزان سقطت يا كيزان الثوار في الميدان الثوار في الميدان سقطت يا كيزان
I wonder how many of these people are refugees.
الثوار في الميدان الثوار في الميدان
I bet you there's many people in this crowd that have come to America as
1,
refugees.
2, 3, 4 we won't take it anymore 5, 6, 7, 8 stop the violence stop the hate 1, 2, 3, 4 we won't take it anymore 5, 6, 7, 8 stop the violence stop the hate 1, 2, 3, 4 we won't take it anymore 5, 6, 7, 8 stop the violence stop the hate 1, 2, 3, 4 we won't take it anymore 5, 6, 7, 8 stop the violence stop the hate 1, 2, 3, 4 we won't take it anymore 5, 6, 7, 8 stop the violence stop the hate 1, 2,
Just think about that,
3,
folks.
4
These kids and these people out here chanting
5, 6, 7, 8
because they're using bullets instead of making bread affordable.
سلمية ضد الحرامية سلمية سلمية ضد الحرامية سلمية ضد الحرامية سلمية ضد الحرامية
سلمية
سلمية ضد الحرامية طير طير يا بشير
خليك ابري واحد يصور خليك
طير طير يا بشير 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 طير طير يا بشير
The mouths of babes. Hey, I see there's some chat about Eric in this conversation, folks. I got a court document came through. We filed a massive request for information, expanded discovery,
You guys,
and they're shaking in their boots a little bit.
You all scream as loud as you can. Make yourself heard because we only have 1 hour left.
So please make it count.
نحن جند الله جند الوطن إنا على الفداء لن نخل نتحمل عند المحن نشتري المبدأ بأغلى ثمن وهذه حدودنا هي سوداننا بين الأمم يا بني السودان هذا رمزكم يحمي الهيبة ويحمي أرضكم يريد إسقاط النظام الشعب 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 يريد
All these kids.
It is.
And they're letting the kids lead it.
Uh-huh.
It's beautiful.
That's the best part about it, I
Except from
think.
the mouth of babes, man.
Yeah.
It won't turn out for the other thing. Looks like.
Happy fucking Police Day. Yeah, man.
This makes
People just
days.
love that when you say that to them.
Some people, it makes their day.
It does make their day. So we can have a polite discourse and we can say fuck the cops. AK lady says hello, Karen.
خلاص يا شيخ.
AK lady.
سفر الشيء أمرك أمرك خلاص يا شيخ. 30 years.
See, we're out here supporting no matter what we do. There's actions and events.
أمرك أمرك يا شيخ. 30 years. أمرك لا يا شيخ. 30 years of سفر الشيء. أمرك خلاص يا شيخ. أمرك أمرك خلاص يا شيخ. 30 years of suffering and pain. أمرك أمرك خلاص يا شيخ.
2 days ago, Regan Benson. Oh yeah, that's about the last time all of us talked to him, I think.
طير طير يا بشير 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 طير طير يا بشير
People start to protest more when the camera's on them. Of course, when police intervene, they turn violent. When they show up with their guns, they kill people. Police don't show up, bullets don't arrive without the intent of being used. Let's see if we can find some people to talk to. Ladies, would you like to talk to the world about what's going on right now? Oh, come on. Use your speech and your power.
I just feel like I'm not knowledgeable enough.
Not knowledgeable enough. Well, did you hear about the 40 people killed this morning?
This morning?
Yeah, over protesting over bread prices.
Oh, well, it wasn't this morning.
That's what I heard on my stream here, was that it was this morning.
Oh, like, because I know 40 people have been killed as of yesterday,
As in-
maybe.
Okay.
Like, over the 10 days so far.
Oh, so there's been 10 days of protests? Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's 40 more this morning.
Okay. So 40 at least.
Yeah.
Along the injured, 200. Oh, so look, we got it coming up on our feed. It says the dead include 3 in northern state, 5 in Nural Nil state, 6 in Gadaref state, 3 in White Nile state, 2 members of security forces. So Dan, the meaning of this protest is that people are getting shot for protesting about bread prices, about not being able to survive and afford life. And all these people,
Sudani people we stand. Our people are mad. Sudani people we stand. Our people.
the people are mad, huh? A lot of people killed.
Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no,
I really want to watch the guillotine protest on James Freeman's channel.
hell no, we won't go. Hell no,
But we're here. We're live, folks. Downtown Denver at the Colorado State Capitol. And protesters and shop owners. See, I don't know who's stressing that the casualties, that's stressy, who attempted to loot. So the people are so hungry, so poor that they're attempting to rob buildings in an attempt to survive. Just like people would be willing to jump onto barbed wire to get into the United States, where we throw away so much food that a third of our grown food and processed food is destroyed in waste. That's criminal.
Power, power to our people. Sudan freedom's what we're here for. Power, power to our people. Sudan freedom's what we're here for. Power, power.
107 arrested.
Freedom's what we're here for. Power, power to our people. Sudan freedom's what we're here for.
Hi, Michelle.
Power, power to our people. Sudan freedom's what we're here for. Power, power to our people.
Armed movements. So the government is arresting armed and peaceful protesters who are complaining that the dictatorship of Sudan is restricting the freedom of protest and killing people who are complaining about the lack of food. After January 15th. So in 2 weeks we'll have plenty for everybody, but for now you're just going to survive or die. And what we have can't be spread out and rationed effectively. So these are the things where people can do better. Hoarding of resources does not ensure that all are tended. And that people and children will die for the lack of food, right? These babes are saying, these children, that there's people hungry and they have plenty. Stop the hate.
1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop the violence. Stop the hate. Guys, can I what?
Ladies and gentlemen, would you believe it? We are just amassing people today. It's the real Michael Whitney. We have Karen Sidaro. And of course, I'm Brian Loma. We're the Corner Bakery 3. You can't miss that laugh. That's Janet Madsen, Janet's Bakery. We came out today to support the Yellow Vests, whatever action protesting that was happening here. Turns out we're here to support the murder of people protesting for bread prices in Sudan. And it's powerful. We're just professionals. I love these kids. Jesse used to with us. Maybe you can go to the Yellow Vest protest day actions for today. Give me an update on where they're at and why they're not here. They might have posted a move. I would be grateful if you could do that. Hey, Boomer! Regan, this is the, we thought we were going to be at the Yellow Vest, just like James Freeman is there, statewide or nationwide event. It turns out that people have been killed in Sudan for bread, for protesting over bread prices. So they're using bullets instead of bread. And people are getting killed for protesting peacefully. It sounds like there's also been some armed militias that have been starting to rise to fight the dictatorship. These people want their dictator in Sudan to be taken before the International Criminal Commission, Darfur. They want these freedoms for their people. So, Regan, that's why we're out here. But when you see these children protesting and leading chants for their people, then you know that there's more. And it's about the constitutional freedoms that we enjoy and how we can instill that into the next generation.
We'll never be divided. Sudan, united. We'll never be divided. Sudan, united. We'll never be divided.
I think I said, hey, Boomer.
We'll never be divided.
And Pikes Peak, hi there. Yeah, we're all here hanging out.
United. We'll never be divided. Sudan, united. We'll never be
So many children here today. Because so many cultures involve their children in the lifestyle and the education. That's how it should be.
يا جماعة الزول اللي قاعد يصور للأخبار احنا كنا يوم الأربعاء قلنا بس صوتنا كان أعلى كلنا نقول حاجة بالعربي إنجليزي أي شيء نوصل صوتنا الزول ده الثورة خيار الشعب حرية سلام وعدالة 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 الثورة خيار الشعب.
I don't know what they're saying, but I would say that their leader needs to be shot for using bullets on people over providing bread for the people. These people should take it to the street. Are you gonna march? You should be. Huh? Why? Who says you're not allowed? Do you not know what the Constitution of the United States of America says?
Nope.
It says that you have a freedom to gather, you have a freedom to protest. The police cannot tell you not to go down the 16th Street Mall and protest and draw attention and get more people to see this than keeping you secluded to the sidewalks of the Capitol.
Yeah.
You have this many people, there's no reason not to go down the street. Go march on the 16th Street Mall and tell people. Yeah. You have enough people to stay on the sidewalks. If you need a marshal, we'll help you marshal. Keep the crowd together in the roads. We have no problem helping you guys out. But you have enough people to go and march if you want to. Yeah, see, you know, connect with your leaders, your elders, huh? Hi, how are you today? So is the Yellow Vest, is this supposed to be at noon?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the big one was in
pushing it back.
Yeah, I didn't
This one
even.
hasn't been pushed just because
Every week it's kind of rough. I get it.
this is like one we're planning on having.
Okay, so will you come on this side so I can record you and tell us what's going on for the yellow vest? Yeah, right there. Your son's on that side. I can't see you.
Okay, just what
Tell us who you are. What's going on?
I'm Kathleen. On the 5th of January, we're planning to have a good meeting of the Yellow Vests here. Freedom for humanity, equality, staying against corruption of government.
It's okay. It's hard. It's hard. We're not expecting. Oh, I gotta be on camera. It's a prop to. We're always on camera in life.
That is true.
So anyway, what we were saying, folks, is that we came out here for the Yellow Vest protest. I learned about it this morning.
Yeah.
I thought it was next weekend.
Yeah, that next weekend is the one that we're definitely pushing.
And so we showed up, and here we found this crew going on.
Yeah, very
and we're excited about it. And but we came out anyway, you know. We're live streaming this right now, so you know, building up that audience count and whatnot. But these guys have been dying over bread, right? And getting shot. So telling them they should march.
They should. They totally should.
And hopefully they're walking around trying to push that marker, and we'll help Marshall. You know.
Yeah, why not, right?
It empowers them when they get to march. What's the word? Is it going around a little bit?
I'm trying to just to take some pictures with that camera
Oh, I mean, as far as the marching, have you talked to people?
to go down.
Yeah.
Okay, you can come and tell them.
Well, who's the? I don't know who the leader is. You know, or
Me too.
elders.
I just came here.
Okay. Well, we're gonna work on that. I really want to see these guys if they can march. I'm gonna slide through. You want to hold this for a minute? Karen's gonna be behind.
United will never be divided. Sudan, 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 united will never be divided. Show me what unity looks like.
This is what unity looks like.
Show me what unity looks like.
This is what unity looks like.
Show me what unity looks like.
This is what unity looks like.
Show me what unity looks like.
This is what unity looks like.
Show me what unity looks like.
This is what unity looks like.
Show me what unity looks like.
This is what unity looks like.
What do we want?
Freedom.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Freedom.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Freedom.
When do we want it?
Now.
Add Bashir to ICC.
Add Bashir to ICC.
Add Bashir to ICC.
Add Bashir to ICC.
Sudan regime to ICC.
Sudan regime to ICC.
Sudan regime to ICC.
What's ICC, you know?
Hurriya Sudan! 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 Some of them get his on! Some of them get his on! Some of them get his on! السيار في الميدان! السيار في الميدان! سلم بياك يا زان! السيار في الميدان!
Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no,
We won't go! Al-Bashir has got to go! Hell no, we won't go! Al-Bashir has got to go! Hell no, we won't go! Al-Bashir has got to go! Hell no, we won't go! Al-Bashir has got to go! Hell no, we won't go! Al-Bashir has got to go! Hell no, we won't go! Al-Bashir has got to go! Hell no, we won't go!
Comments coming on, but I couldn't see them.
Huh?
Comments were coming up, but I
Oh, that's
couldn't see
okay.
them.
No fuel!
How are these people any different from when they dressed up as Antifa or screamed at women march feminists? Deadhead, you must be an idiot. I don't know why there aren't other people talking, knocking that shit down. These are refugees. These are people who are talking about the culture of their communities back in the other side of the world. How people are getting shot for bread, and I don't know what this thought process of dressed up as Antifa or screamed at women march feminists. I don't know about that. Yeah, we're not Yellow Vest, so this is not Yellow Vest. We thought it was a Yellow Vest protest, and there is one scheduled for this time. But what happened was, people are getting shot in Sudan, and this took precedence. So that's why we're here for this. Can't change the name of the video till I'm done with the week, with the event, and done with the live stream. Then we'll update appropriately. Hopefully we're gonna go march. Are we gonna go march? I don't know why not. You don't need a permit to march. The Constitution is your permit. We'll help you. We'll help you through traffic.
All right.
Yeah, we never have a permit to march. It's called the Constitution. Yes, that's our permit, and we do it all the time. Because you have enough people to do a good march down the hall. Go wake some people up. What we would do is probably just go to the sidewalk, cross over the train station, like the Denver Coast area on the sidewalk, and then walk over 16th Street and just go around the mall a little bit. Yeah, you guys organize. Just let me know when you need marching, and we'll watch the roads to keep everybody in a group. Okay. Looks like we're marching. For those of you who can't see, because the sun's in the face, that laugh is Janet Madsen. We love her. People are massing and milling. Definitely need to get them out on the road. Get them to take a walk and march and protest.
Al-Bashir to ICC! 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 Al-Bashir to ICC!
You're a permit. Are you a resident of the United States of America? You live in the state of Colorado. You're physically here right now. The Constitution of the United States of America is your permit. I do this on a regular basis. I'm a member of the I have my
قرب تعال يا أخي قرب تعال قول لي نسوي لما كان حكم البلد أزمان وجوع خوف ودمار خوف وجوع ودمار حرية سلام وعدالة الثورة خيار الشعب 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 حرية سلام وعدالة
flow with the sidewalks, right? So not take the road in the middle of traffic, but we're also not going to break the group up. That's what marshals things do. Even if the lights change, we flow with it, and everybody goes around.
1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop the violence, stop the hate. 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop the violence, stop the hate.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8.
So I'm a member of Occupy Denver and other like social justice community organizations. We do weekly protests on 60th Street Mall where we feed people, we provide clothing, jobs, we boycott businesses. We do a table and food.
سوداننا سوداننا أرض جدودي والأرض فيه وجدت مأمني فيه وجدت مسكني فيه
Just more slime. Deadhead is just more slime. Glad to know that. We already got protesters or trolls on this page. I love it. Thank you, Deadhead.
السلام عليكم يا جماعة. عايزين نعيد حكم البشير ده.
So they're talking. It's good. They're mixing it up. They're making a decision to go protest, maybe. Go hit the street.
I'm counting. I go 25, you guys say I'm counting. I go 30, you guys say step down. 30, you need to step down, okay? Yeah? Okay, yalla. 1, I got it. 10, I got it.
I think for today, we're going to stop it.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. Putting those kids in the sidewalk, taking them down in front of everybody, that's powerful. See, what they do is they tell you can only be here, so they restrict your free speech. Right? They're telling you don't exercise your rights unless you're on private, public property inside the fences, right? They don't want disruption of commerce and the daily norms, right? That's why the protesters and the shopkeepers are even colliding in Sudan, right?
Yeah.
Right? So interrupting commerce is how protests reach more people, right? And the children, put them inside until you get over the sidewalks. I mean, we all cross the street with our kids. We all know how to walk hand in hand.
Small number, like 300 or something.
No. Listen, we say we won't do it when we have 10. When there's 50, there's enough. There's enough here to do it.
So just you need like some of us to go.
If you just start coming, then I will come. You have enough people to go on a street march if you want to.
So like to get just like a sample to go over there.
Whoever, if they want to, they'll come, they'll follow. We're gonna go, announcement on the speaker. We're gonna go take the 60th Street Mall, hold the children's hands across the of instructions. They'll all come. I know this kind of thing. You guys, but it's your decisions, But we want to encourage you. You have a nice power of people here. You have a good number to take and go do a. You can go march up the street on the sidewalk up Colfax. You can go down Broadway, anywhere you want to go, right? But don't think that you are limited to this space, because that is not what the Constitution gives all of us. Thank you. So, again, folks, we're not going to tell them what to do. We're just going to encourage them to make their own decisions. It's horizontal leadership. It means that we don't take control. We don't tell them what to do. We just encourage that they have rights. And if they decide that they want to do that, then we're going to encourage them to do that.
الطلقة ما بتقتل بتقتل سكات الناس وسع مجاري الدم زيد السجن ترباس الطلقة ما بتقتل بتقتل سكات الناس.
The news is I'm going to have like another 500 minutes of watch time today. What, didn't you just bring a go bag to sleep on the couch?
I wanted to go back to sleep in a hotel.
Oh, you're going to Fort Collins?
Just in case.
Just in case.
I'll be excited when all the other family leaves and I can go up. Stay in my room.
No justice, no peace. In Tamara East, 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 Sudan. رجال الشعب حرية سلام وعدالة الثورة خيار 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 الشعب. You will not live in the public service. You will not live in the.
Well, folks, as we might know, after a while, the initial protest starts to lose its steam. So you have to find in your events ways when you're organizing to make sure that there's a mix of things to do. It's good to have a rally and a scream on the street and protest. It's also important that you go make yourself more visible than in one fixed location, or that you have speakers to mix it up a little bit. Always good to have a lot of things going on at your protests, just to keep the community active and involved. But see, what they've done is they've programmed these people. You see, this woman, these people holding signs, they need to be on the street over here. They need to be over here where the cars can see them, but instead they're convinced that they need to be behind the fence. So when we do that, I'm going to actually ask, can I have one of those for a minute? I want this on the street. See, when you're really wanting to wake up people, if you're not marching down the road, your signs on the stairs aren't seen by the drivers. And so, I'm not. So I'm just going to do this so that I can feel. See, what this does, folks, is it adds visibility to the traffic side when people are driving by. And that is where the fence line and the road don't meet for people to see what's really going on. You've got to be right here. And I'm going to switch the screen to give you an idea what I mean, right? There's the road. There's the sign. Learn from Eric Brandt that you can't be seen in a closet. You got to be out in the streets. You got to be visible. See, and it slows cars down too. That's the other thing about it, is that it slows traffic down. It makes people pay attention just a little bit. Let's see if you can see me doing this like this. That sun's so bright. If I have a sign here, traffic is going to see it a little better. I'm not as handsome as these people though, so we'll go back to this crowd. It's so hard.
Once again, it's
All about oil and gas.
Been in power 30 years.
30 years.
1989 military coup.
Was that a U.S. military coup?
There was South Sudanese rebelled, and there's been problems with them for probably centuries.
Okay.
And the English or the British or whatever, divided up these countries and didn't give a fuck about who lived where.
Right. So they didn't divide them by
Like
cultural lines. They divided them by their own lines. Yeah.
Why didn't they make a little piece for the Kurds, huh?
Right.
While they were at it. They didn't know about the Kurds.
They didn't know about the Kurds.
Huh? Say again?
Said they didn't care.
They didn't care about them.
Allegiance
Yeah.
Have to be a lot more. And that's something that
حرية سلام وعدالة الثورة خيار الشعب 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 البشير to ICC Sudan regime to ICC البشير to ICC Sudan regime to ICC البشير to ICC Sudan regime to ICC What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? When do we want? When do we want it? When do we want? When do we want it? سقطت يا كيزان الثوار في الميدان سقطت سجين تلباس الطلقة مقتل بكل سكان الناس والسيف مجاري الدم في سجين تلباس الطلقة مقتل بكل سكان الناس والسيف مجاري الدم في سجين تلباس الطلقة مقتل بكل سكان الناس والسيف مجاري الدم في سجين تلباس الطلقة مقتل بكل سكان الناس والسيف مجاري الدم في سجين تلباس الطلقة مقتل بكل سكان الناس. We can't hear you back. Be louder.
Hey, some Yellow Vests showed up too. See, guys, we said there was a Yellow Vest protest today. We just ran into the Sudanese first.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't it?
Hell yeah. What flag is that?
Sudan.
Sudan.
So this child here is 8 years old who was killed using his voice to complain about the treatment of humans. The bread is too expensive. They can't even get bread. They're being killed while protesting, right? So the idea of freedom, peace, and justice, the idea of a free Sudan. Yeah, because police protect and serve the elite. It doesn't matter what country you're in. And they're shooting protesters in Sudan.
I have a jacket. I'm
See, and I'm wearing snow pants, long johns, a pair of jeans.
Man, I got 4 layers on.
Right? And I tried to convince them that it would be good to go protest down the street, but they're not accustomed to constitutional freedoms like that. So we're not taking it over. We just offered the idea that we would marshal if they wanted. They've chosen not to do that today, but that's okay.
Nice.
Okay?
What about next weekend?
I'll be here. Yeah, we're live streaming. That's what I actually started my live stream as a Yellow Vest protest. Nice. And then we found the Sudanese were here, so you know.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
How's it going? How do you feel about the fact that people are being shot while protesting the lack of bread in their country?
I think the way people in Sudan are being treated is horrible.
You're familiar with this topic.
Yeah, I know that Sudan split about a decade ago into South Sudan, and unfortunately the situation hasn't improved much since then.
No, it hasn't. So I guess recently in the last 10 days, 40 people have been killed while protesting peacefully. You know, and they're using bullets over bread to take care of the people. And that's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, they have a thug government.
They do. Is that A Wrinkle in Time?
Yeah.
Nice. Fantastic.
I saw the movie with Oprah, and I was like, I don't remember that.
So you decided to read it again.
Yeah, because I read it when I was like a young teenager.
Reading is important. Yes, expands our minds. Yeah, so the Yellow Vests are also out here, as you can see a few of us here. And this is going to be a weekly thing for the next several weeks. Every Saturday around 11 or 12, the Yellow Vests are gathering at the Capitol.
Right.
So if you're free, come join us. We'd love to have you.
While I support the cause and the fact that people need to be informed about it, I don't think our protest here is going to change what's happening in Sudan.
No, it might not change what's happening in Sudan.
Yeah.
But you see how many children are here, and I'm gonna pan back on that because the number of children here is what's key to me. The idea that these children are being raised to use the Constitution to their advantage.
Right.
Their rights and authorities as human beings alive means that they get to gather and they get to protest and they get to do that without fear of being murdered, right? And that's not the same everywhere. So if you can gather and you can teach your children to exercise these rights, maybe some of these people will go back to their home country and their home culture, and they'll spread the...
Yeah, it can be different.
Yeah. I mean, they're not even encouraged right now to go protest in the street, right? We want to take them down the 16th Street Mall, and they're not strong. They're not encouraged collectively that that's a freedom they have yet.
Yeah.
They're not empowered. They said, "Oh, if we have 300 people, we would do that." And I said, "Well, we would do that if we have 10, but 50 is more." Right? So we would do it with 50. We wouldn't need 300.
Right.
And they say, well, we'll do it if we have 300. So they don't know how easy it is for us here. They're minded by the oppression they have back in their own home, right? 300 is enough to go out and march, but 50 is not. So that's what it takes, though, is spreading freedom, teaching people. So we're excited about it. But this is not a weekly thing. The Yellow Vests, stemming from those freedoms brought up in France and that movement, right? That the urgency to be visible in these issues. And we do a family meal on Sundays down on the 16th Street Mall at the Corner Bakery at Denver Pavilions.
What's your organization?
Occupy Denver.
Okay.
And Boycott the Urban Camping Ban.
Yeah.
6 years of feeding people, providing clothing, jobs as we have them from various employers in the community to help take care of those in need. But a decent night's sleep, rested body and spirit are definitely the things that we need to help people survive physically and mentally to get to the places where they need to be housed again and to be long-term productive members of our community.
I don't see poverty as a person. Poverty is a social infrastructure.
It's a disease. It is an infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that idea. Oh, folks, we're learning and growing as we gather. Yes, Michael.
Could you hold your side a little?
Oh, did you want
Thank you. No, I was going to say, where's the state, where's the Capitol Police coming down to get these people off the steps for their safety?
No, they're on the steps. That's where it's safe.
But I was told last week in a protest here that for our safety, we had to come down below the barricade here. So they just
See, now they're getting out there. We like that.
هم الولد كفلوه بالرصاص رصاص ونص الراس ويقولوا ده قيصر لو اصله ده قيصر ما بتمشي نص الراس كفلوه غلاصين.
We got some speakers going on, folks. We're going to come catch up with this.
الوطن خاينين ما عندهم همة لنفسهم بايعين. هم الولد روح شايل هم بلده نسيان يشيل همي خلاني امشي براي عز وطن حرقان ودروعي زي فيضان يحلل وفات خلان في بحر الحزن غرقان يا ولدي ما تنهار أصل الحكم جوار والجوار مصير النار عشان تجيب التار من الحاكم الجوار أو خليه لرب السما الجبار. يوم السؤال لسه في عقلي بيتكرر كان ذنبه ايه قتلوه كان امله بس ينعم بسلام وحرية بسلام وحرية بسلام وحرية ونظام حكم عادل ونظام حكم عادل. يا ولدي تصبر يا ولدي تصبر ولا ربك استغفر. فجر الخلاص قرب فجر الخلاص قرب فجر الخلاص قرب.
سقطت يا جزاء الثوار في الميدان 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 بدون سبات الزول الطلق مقتل بدون سبات الزول الطلق مقتل بدون سبات الزول الطلق مقتل بدون سبات الزول الطلق مجاري الدم زين السجن ترباس الطلق مقتل بدون سبات الناس والسيم مجاري الدم زين السجن ترباس الطلق مقتل بدون سبات الناس والسيف مجاري الدم زين السجن ترباس الطلق مقتل بدون سبات الناس. يا جماعة
They're coming out. That's good. Yeah, just say it to the world.
we want freedom.
And you want freedom and okay.
لما البلد تغلي لما العساكر كان السوه الاسلام جايبين تفاهاتهم سجنونا باسم الدين حرقونا باسم الدين حضرونا باسم الدين.
Look at these guys flying through. No lights on.
يخلى حق يموت يخارج الشيطان. الدين بيقول تمرك الدين بيقول تمرك تمرك تجيب بالدك وتواجه الحكام. الدين بيقول الزور والسلام غير ممكن ما ينكتب يسكت ما ينكتب يسكت.
This vehicle is not well parked.
في وسعة من زايد الخوف عديم الدار ولد الدكر هاغا ولد الدكر هاغا حبوك تكنداكا عبد الفضل.
Good morning. Yes, Janet, it is a beautiful morning, isn't it? We have too many people popping up in these group chats. I don't know what that is. I'm going to hide that, folks. It is a beautiful morning, Janet. Good morning.
إلا العسل تنغور إنسان سجن يومنا سجنا يوسف رجال سجنا يوسف رجال سجنا يوسف رجال سجنا ملاك ثوار سجنا ملاك ثوار ما قالوا في كذاب من تستطيع خاين ما فيه ولد عاق فيه الشرف ذمة فيه الغلا شفاف الطاق للعيب الشمس راح يبقى الأبلاد ويكون في بيت الموت هم الرجال الخاص هم الرجال احرار في قاعدة العيشة والروح مولع نار أقل يوم جواز يا حقنا المظلوم أقل يوم خلاص يا دول كمان الوجود أقل من ظلم وهنجوز أقل يوم غسول أقل يوم مثال أقل مسبح وقول أقل يوم حياة يا دول المسؤول يا وقت الصوت أقل كما في الطول دولة المناض اليوم أقل كما التحريك أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الزول أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الزول وسع مجالتين بدون سكات الزول أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس
أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس وسع مجالتين في نفسك الباس أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس وسع مجالتين في نفسك الباس أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس وسع مجالتين في نفسك الباس أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس وسع مجالتين في نفسك الباس أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس وسع مجالتين في نفسك الباس أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس وسع مجالتين في نفسك الباس أقل كما التكون بدون سكات الناس
يا ولد يا مريم يا عمرو حنية أنا عندي التم يا طيبة النية مشتاق ما بندم أصبر شوية يا ولد يا مريم أنا من بلد العاب يا بلد السنات
No, actually, I'm worried about that thing. So I'm out here so you won't get hit.
يا ولد يا مريم ما نركب السجين
So you guys been out here talking, chanting and stuff. What do you got to tell the world?
ما شفت
That it's been 30 years and that's enough time. We're done. He needs to go. Nobody justice for people. And we're doing this not to, we physically can't do anything, but the more the media knows, the more.
So what does the media, what does the people need to know while we're praying for Sudan? What are we praying for?
Well, people are trying to protest against a dictator.
Okay.
Oversee the dictator, and they're getting killed just while protesting themselves.
So what you're doing right now, if you're in Sudan, you could be shot and killed for it.
Exactly.
Okay, and how old are you ladies? 14-year-olds. Could you imagine being so afraid to come out and speak for your life?
There was an 8-year-old Sudanese boy who was shot and killed just for protesting. He was leading it too, and he got killed. And everyone's getting killed even more. So we're Sudanese Americans, and we're trying to use our freedom to freedom of speech to let other people know what's going on, and to not let the dictatorship and the regime control the narrative of what comes out of Sudan.
Don't control the narrative. We want free speech.
The truth.
We want the truth out here. Now, I'm curious. There's a lot of people here. Do you think that this here is enough? Do you think that keeping your voice and your message on the stairs of the Capitol is enough? Do you think you guys belong marching around where the people are at and shopping today? What are your thoughts on these things?
It would be easier to go where more people are, but this is just a start. This is to tell people to get out and spread the word.
And it's happening in every single state.
So it's happening around the country right now?
Yeah. And
Okay.
One of our friends just went all the way to Washington to do it at the Capitol.
Okay, and one of the children was there. Friends went to the Capitol. I'm going to see if there's any questions going on. Yeah, they're not asking any questions at this point. I was just checking. Well, I was hoping with a crowd this size, you guys would march. But each to their own comfortable levels, you know, where it's at. I think that it's beautiful that you're all out here on this day and that you're using your freedom, right? I mean, can you imagine? And I can't imagine. I have a hard enough time imagining what it's like to sleep in the weather out here in this day and age. But to think that people would get shot for saying, I'm hungry, right? Because that's what the original protests are about, right? Is the bread prices and the...
It's more about the
30 years of suffering.
I remember protesting when I was 7. We've been doing this for a while.
So you've been doing this most of your life?
We used to do marches too. The only issue right now is because of how people get so because we didn't have enough time to get a permit to march. But
You don't need a permit to march. And I don't know who's teaching you that you need a permit to march, but you need to go open up the Constitution of the United States of America. Free speech is a right. It's a birthright. It's more than a birthright. It's a citizenship right. And it's a right of anybody who makes it on this soil. We never get a permit to march. Never. I had 5,000 people at this Capitol, and I marched without a permit. I had 50 people at this Capitol for an event, and I marched without a permit. The permit is the Constitution. Yes, yes. You don't need the authority of your dictators and rulers to tell you to use your free speech. That's what you're protesting against, right? So we want you to know that when you guys organize and plan these things, you don't have to go to the city of Denver and say we're marching. You want to get a permit for the Capitol so you have access to the water, so you can put a hose out and have a bucket for everybody to drink, so you're not wasting the environment by bringing out single-use water bottles. By all means, you want electricity so you can set up a sound stage and a concert out here and hold a protest and a benefit for people. By all means. But once you leave this land to go out into that land, you need no permits. Matter of fact, we're in the yellow vest here, no permit, but we're respecting your event, right? Just experience and age, right? We've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, so we want you to know you don't need a permit. If y'all just decided to just sporadically walk, it would be just fine. But thank you, right? And grow with it, right? You're young, you're learning, you're out here using your voice. And as you research and as you learn more about what you can do, you're going to become bolder in it, right? I want to tell you why this is so important to me. I recently was arrested while feeding the homeless on the 16th Street Mall because I said, fuck the police. Now, the Constitution of the United States of America protects that, and the Supreme Court has ruled that it is my right to say fuck the police. It is, right? And I was arrested for that, and now we're gonna go sue them in court, and this, courthouses of the Constitution under the Capitol. You guys doing that on purpose? Or did you not see the cars that were backed up here?
Were you standing right next to the street on purpose, or are you just fucking stupid?
Oh, I am fucking stupid. Thank you very much.
We're all on the same page.
Okay, great. So I was on the sidewalk, folks. CVO 673, assault with a vehicle.
Did you get it?
I did get it.
Good.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This crowd keeps getting bigger and bigger. Say then you get pulled and abolished because I'm on the sidewalk. Have fun, ladies. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Are you listening to the scanner?
No, no.
Often we have people that will just throw it in to listen.
Oh, no, no. I should, though.
Oh, popcorn. Get that out there. Michael, how you doing, man? It's crazy. I'm just live streaming all day here. But maybe you can help me out.
Yeah, I have some too.
Well, I got this, and I got this.
Yeah, same here. Here, I got something. Put in it. You want?
I got one hand.
What's this? Illinois sweatshirt? Fighting Illini.
Yeah, I lived there once.
I did a job there once. No, I visited your girlfriend.
I've been live streaming for an hour and a half.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many views?
I've had as many as 14 people up at one time. Yeah, we're just getting hours, right? You got to get to like 250,000 hours or minutes of being watched before you can monetize your pages. So you just got to put content out there.
You have to get what?
So to get ads on your thing, so you can start generating revenue to like get paid for your work, you got to have like 250,000 minutes of watch time. So I'm broadcasting for an hour and a half. That's 90 minutes. If 5 people ran that 90 minutes entirely, right? But like, I think I'll have at least an hour or 2 today recording. I might end up with like 1,000 minutes watched today or more, right? People watching my stream for 5-10 minutes at a time, listening to the chants, whatever it is. I got hit in my backpack with this truck. That was fun. I was standing on the sidewalk. He hit me. Put his plate number on camera. Brian says Sudan's human rights record continued to be defined by government repression and violation of basic civil and political rights, restriction of religious freedoms, and disregard for obligations on civilian protection under international and humanitarian law. Let's see how many we can get. Thank you. And thank you, Brian, for watching. We really appreciate it. We are here live trying to spread the message. I'm taking a little medical health break here for a second. Soon we're going to be saying that to you, Michael. Way to go, Grandpa.
I'm looking like a grandpa.
He's looking forward to being a grandpa too, folks.
Grandpas aren't supposed to get arrested.
Grandpa has it.
Rub it in. You want me to get this going too, or?
I was just throwing on top of it.
Darren does even video, dude.
Here's Karen Sidaro handing out popcorn balls to everybody. Wait. See that black thing right there? What that is? Right. Really what's on There we go. Okay.
I wish there was a different band. Yeah, black and orange
Get on here. Yep. See, these guys are I'm gonna go meander the circuit here. See, the thing is, they've surrounded themselves and they've gotten into the little chant circle, which is cool. There are more people here than in Dallas. Hello, Denver. Hello, Bob. Western Slope Transparency. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you all coming out here. This actually wasn't a Yellow Vest event. For those of you who are just joining, there's some here. We are here. But we had a small gathering today. It's supposed to be a really big gathering for next week. But what happened was that in the last several days, 40 Sudanese have been murdered while protesting over bread prices, over a dictatorial regime. And so they had an action today. And if you haven't seen this yet, you got to see that the kids are leading this protest. So these are American Sudanese, and they are tired of the dictatorship that's going on. They are tired of yes, thank you very much. The protests of the Sudanese regime, the dictatorship, the horrificness that people would be killed for protesting. 14-year-olds were on our page just a moment ago, right? These young ladies over here, they're 14 years old, and they would be murdered if they were in their own country because this young man here, we're going to find his picture. These are martyrs, right? These are pictures of the martyrs who've been killed, shot while protesting as children over the food. This young man right here on this poster is 8 years old, huh? Do you know his name? No? But how old are you? You're 10, so you're a little bit older than this young man, huh? Could you imagine being so afraid to come out here that they would have guns pointed at you? Not here, huh? Good thing we live in America. Yeah, good job, guys. So yeah, these all these folks out here protesting because children are getting shot in the streets over the dictatorship that they've grown up with, over the price of food, over the lack of access to the needed things, free speech, sufficient shelters and opportunities for growth as people, and yeah, fighting for freedom, exactly. So yeah, folks, for those of you just joining us, we thought we were having the Yellow Vest protest. We found all these people here screaming about Sudan and the issues going on in their communities. And we brought popcorn balls for all the kids.
What am I doing?
Let my people go free Eric Grant. That's right. We need to free Eric Grant as well. But all people who are speaking out against their dictators, against their oppressors, who are enslaved, need to be free, right?
Just Occupy Denver?
Yeah, my name's Brian. I'm with Occupy Denver. It's the Yellow Vest. We're supposed to have an event today, too.
Oh, really?
So we came out for that and found you guys here and absolutely supporting the things that we're learning about, because what's going on in Sudan is it has public knowledge as it should be, right? Those news agencies out there in the world they're not covering. That's why Trump calls it fake news, right? We might not agree with everything that George Twitter says, but the fact that they don't cover it all is a real thing. So we're out here jogging across America, live streaming. We're talking about the issues. Maybe you'd like to tell us your name and a little bit about what's going on.
My name is Omar. I'm here protesting against the killing of civilians in the streets of Sudan. People are uprising against a dictatorship that has been oppressing people for 30 years. And we would like everybody to know about this. As long as the world is keeping silent, the bloodshed is going to continue in Sudan.
Yeah, so we were talking today with somebody, children, right? 8 years old, being shot while leading a protest against the food prices and the conditions. Now, I got to guess that would be most of your life that this dictatorship has been in place.
And I was 9 years old when they came to power.
When they came to power. And they say but there's voting in Sudan.
Nope.
Is that voting legitimate votes?
No. It's just a a manufactured, election.
Manufactured thing. So when people go to vote, are there guns present?
Exactly.
So are you free to vote when there's a gun present?
No.
Ah. Okay. Tell us about that.
Everybody is. I would say that almost 99% of the Sudanese people are against this regime. The only thing that is keeping this regime in power is the guns, the violence, and the silence of the international community, including Trump.
Yeah. Well, he likes dictators. he imagined himself trying to be one. That's why he's building building that wall.
Shutting a government for a wish.
Right. See, you guys are getting bigger and bigger. We think you guys should take the streets. I think that going down the 16th Street Mall with all these children would be a powerful statement.
Exactly. We will. I mean, this will continue until that.
I mean, today.
It's kind of late. We don't have the permission.
Wait. Whose permission do you need?
Well, you have to let the police department know.
No, you don't.
As far as I know, if we stand over here without a permission, they can kick us out.
No. Have you read the Constitution of the United States of America?
I do.
Okay.
But
so it's good to have a permit for this location, the Capitol, so that you can have access to the water to give everybody clean drinking water and to have electricity for speakers and things like that. And also, if another group wants to protest and you have the permit, they can't protest. But when it comes to taking people and marching on the streets, on the sidewalks, going into the malls of commerce and everything to disrupt it and to make a noise, you need no permit other than the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. And when you have more than 10 people and you go, they do not say anything.
We are going to continue this, and next time we're going to take it to the 16th Street Mall, and we are going to take it the whole thing.
What I want you guys to know is that when you get permission by the police to do it, what you're doing is giving them the authority to limit your speech by telling you what you can and cannot do. And we do not accept those authorities and change to us our own choice. We do not choose those forms of slavery. We give those people who are over us the authority to dictate and rule over us. So I just want, as you guys in the community feed this conversation, we want you to know that there are lots of us in the community who would love to teach you, would love to work and show, not to lead you, but to give you our encouragement and strength in what we have learned. So that it goes around. Before I leave, I'm going to get my business card out. Sure. Yeah. Sorry, folks. It's hard to do 3 things at once here. I'm not gonna give it out loud because I'm streaming. Hi.
So I'm from Syria.
Cut the plastic. I'm working on recycling machines. So taking plastic garbage, turning it into building materials.
I've lost cousins.
But yeah, you hit me up. We'll meet for lunch or something, sometime, have some coffee. We can talk about what we know. Let you guys make your decisions. But we never.
This is only the first step.
Look at this, folks. Such a big crowd today. I love it. There are so many people out here. Let's set that with you since you're sitting for a minute. So I need I forgot the tripod. That's the one thing about doing this for hours. Gotta have the monopod or the tripod or your arms get weak. Yeah, I know. It's an hour and a half. You hold it for an hour and a half. Why do you think they make headrests and all?
That's why I didn't want to eat.
Every week. Matter of fact, I cut up what 10 pounds of mushrooms this morning. Put them in a roaster with garlic. Got them cooking down right now to make a gravy sauce for. Yeah, that's right, folks. Prepping for the Urban Camping Band's family meal on a weekly basis takes a lot of work. It really does. So it's Saturday. We're already prepping. Before we left the house this morning, started cooking food. That's right. And if you don't know, you can join us downtown on the at the Denver Pavilions on the 16th Street Mall every Sunday morning while we boycott the businesses that help criminalize homelessness in the city of Denver.
No, they are also accountable. They get our homes. They need to listen to us. Trust me, it's very, very important. Hold them accountable. Find out where you live, find out who your representative is, and find out what do they say about Syria, what do they say about Sudan, what's their opinion about it. I have no idea. Why aren't you educated? You're an elected official. It's your responsibility to represent your constituents. We are all constituents here. Make sure they hear your voices. It's not enough to come to a protest. It's important. It's the first step. The second step is holding them accountable. I am passing a resolution, inshallah, in January, inshallah. It's because the United States government isn't doing anything about Syria up until now. Believe it or not, until now, the government has not officially condemned Assad after 8 years. So now we have to go a different strategy. And I would hope you guys are paying attention because this is very, very important.
Let's make it backed up so people can hear him. The speakers so close to the people, they not know that he's speaking and they're all talking over him.
It influences that they have no other
if you
choice.
bring the speaker back a little bit so they can see and hear.
Please call out the people who need to be heard. Please, look.
Thank you for coming out. You guys, before you leave, make sure you pick up all your trash. Don't leave anything behind. We want to leave this place just like we found it, okay?
Nice.
جماعة خلوكم قراب يعني ما الحاجة الأخيرة الناس لو تجي كل أسبوع هنا إحنا واصلين ومكملين يعني لو ما سقطت ما واقفين ادعموا يا جماعة من السوشيال ميديا الزول يمشوا يعني أي حاجة وروا الجداد اللي إحنا بنعمل شو فإن شاء الله خليكم صامدين ادعموا الثوار في كمية من الناس بتصدق وفي كمية من الناس بتقول خلوا كلامكم قوي شوفوا الناس لو محتاجة شوفوا المبادرات اللي بتعالج المبادرات اللي بتعمل الزول ما يقف الوطن لسه
Hey guys, sorry. Thanks, Shane. I haven't been paying attention to some of the texting and streaming here. We're trying to help them run, organize a little bit here. Looks like it's breaking up though. So, in addition to the Syrian thing, we did have this labeled as a yellow vest event. So let's be honest and tell you that there are some yellow vests here. That we have some protesters available here for community effort. Oh, watch the road, watch the road. Unite as one against the corrupt government. So they're breaking up the Sudanese protest though, guys. And January 5th, downtown Denver. Now, in Texas today, they all came with their loaded weapons strapped on their. So it was a Second Amendment and a First Amendment action. Are we doing that in Denver?
I mean, if people want to, they can, but I'd say no.
Okay, so currently that is not in the plans, but we are still planning for January 5th, next Saturday. To be here at the Colorado State Capitol. Hopefully the weather will be as nice, and we'll be live streaming then too. I guess there's probably going to be some things in the works with protesting in the street, protesting on the sidewalk, protesting at the Capitol.
Would you plan on marching 16?
Moving. Okay, so there's a planned march that will start somewhere around the 16th Street Mall. No route map is being given though, because we wouldn't have one until the crowd itself makes its own decisions. There are no leaders in these horizontal organizations, folks. And we want to make sure that you all remember that, because if you're a leader and you come out, you're allowed to suggest and communicate and take action, and some of us do that. Others, will move as in that. But there are people who are going to take their own leadership roles and decisions to black bloc or to participate in more anarchist efforts. We're not gonna, but that's not our goal, right? In a leaderless organization,
what we can all come together for,
right?
This isn't a conservative movement or a liberal movement.
There we go.
This is stepping outside of that and recognize that we are the people. We all come together. We have a voice, regardless of where you sit on a spectrum.
So regardless of where you sit, you have a voice. We want you to come out and join us on the 5th of January as we begin the winter season of protesting, which will be a weekly Saturday action up until February, we know for sure, between MLK and the Women's March, and then Pride's right. Oh no, that's in the middle of.
That's July.
That's July, yeah. That's ways out. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of things coming up. And it's funny how in the middle of winter in Denver, Colorado, we have a lot of winter protesting that happens. There's probably going to be another teachers' protest. That was a huge 10,000 person event last year. Those organizers would be silly not to take up on that. So as we have these weekly actions and community efforts, folks, we hope you'll come and join us locally. If you can't make it out locally, share us on YouTube, share us on Facebook, tweet about us, tweet about the oppression, not just on Saturdays, but call your local representatives, call the people in the city offices, go to those city council meetings, tell people you're tired of this shit, and start thinking about making plans to run for office, to make an effort to do a little something different. Because folks, it doesn't really matter where you're at. And it doesn't really matter if you're outside the capital of the state of Colorado, if you're across the street from the city and county building all the way down there at the end of the park. I don't know if you can see it through all the trees, but it's there, a little bit on the edge. That's where our city government does things that are bad for us too. Like they unanimously decide on laws without city vote that make it illegal to live. And they make rules and regulations in regards to just how look, we got all kinds of things going on. Here's the thing. City council employee got into the low-income housing program and then rented out his low housing unit for market value. But low housing income is so low. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Brian Johnson. We're all out here doing our part, building up the effort, and trying to reach people. If you've seen some of my posts recently, we've done things on waste consumption, on treating the homeless, on constitutional authorities being violated. And when we all speak up about these things and we all speak out, These people don't even, they're out here because their families are being shot, an 8-year-old killed leading a protest about food and the treatment of people in the government. It's sad. So listen, guys, I know that my battery is dropping. I know that I've been on for almost 2 hours, and I really appreciate all of you who've stuck in and out and through this the whole time, who have shared it. I'm learning to use my voice and these recordings so much more effectively. I've been blogging on and off on a website called cuttheplastic.wordpress.com, but I've been talking about trash. And Brian, you're right. There's no freedom of speech in Sudan. So that's why we're out here today speaking, and the Sudanese are speaking for their people, to get this government to speak out, take action, to take leaders here into account. But I'm going to go. I got some other things I need to attend to today, and we're going to take care of that. I appreciate all of you for following Cut the Plastic, WordPress, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. My name's Brian Loma. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Brian, for sharing. Thank you to all these people who come out here on a weekly basis. We want to thank Otto the Watchdog. Go watch Otto the Watchdog, who was told he had to have a permit to feed people. Eric Brandt's live stream is going to be live tomorrow morning on the 16th Street Mall while we boycott businesses who people's right to survive. And we got a lot going on. Regan Benson just found out that a man is being fined $12,000 for living on his own land while trying to get building permits and fall into code by appropriateness. They fined him $12,000 for living on a land without a permanent fixed cement structure. He has a storage unit. He has an RV. It's his 11 acres. And they're charging him more than $1,000 an acre for being on that space. That's Regan Benson carrying that story, and she's sharing. Yeah, Jane, that's pretty wow. We are talking also. Regan has a woman in Weld County in Greeley who's been jailed. She dated an officer and broke up with him. So now her crime is punishment in the slammer, and that's just a summation of the story. Talk to Regan Benson. Go look at her streams. Of course, we love James Freeman and his work. But my name's Brian Loma. Cut the Plastic, and we're all watching. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.